discussion of today's learning competency.
Welcome to our asynchronous online class in English 8. Are you ready? Great! Let's get started. Have you experienced buying canned sardines at a store? How do you know what kind of nutrition you may get from eating those canned sardines? Precisely. You may know the kind of nutrition you will get from eating canned sardines by looking at the table of nutrition facts written on the can. Nutrition facts found in canned goods are presented in table for us to understand the information easily with the help of what we call as visual-verbal relationship. That is why today we are going to explain visual-verbal relationships illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in expository text. For us to know what a verbal-visual relationship is, let us first understand the difference between visual and verbal elements. So, what are visual elements? That's it. Visual elements are drawings, graphics, or illustration used to support written words. Examples include table, graph, information or concept map. What about verbal elements? How are they defined? That's good. Verbal elements are written words used to support drawings, graphics, or illustrations. Example, how are they related to one another? That's right. Visual and verbal elements are mutually supportive to one another. Hence, a visual-verbal relationship is mutually supportive. This is when the visual elements support or complement the verbal elements and vice versa. Most importantly, it will help us understand information in a clear and effective way. Take note, a visual-verbal relationship is commonly seen in tables, graphs, and information maps. For us to have a better understanding of how a visual-verbal relationship is commonly illustrated, we will focus on this set of examples. Let us start with tables. What is a table? A table comes from Latin word tabula, meaning flat, table, or list. Is normally a structured set of numbers in columns and rows that give an orderly way to look at the numbers. It is used to display facts and provides a way to look up specific numbers. As you can see with the example, a table is a structured set of numbers with columns. These are the columns and rows. That give an orderly way to look at the numbers. Again, it is used to display facts and provides a way to look up specific numbers. For us to understand the visual-verbal relationships illustrated on the table, let us know the basic elements of a table. As shown on the previous example, the first element is title. The title is the main heading written in capitals shown at the top of the table. It explains the contents of the table. In the given example, which do you think is the title? Perfect! The title of the table is Energy Production by Major Source from 1960 to 1980. The second element of a table is called column caption. Based on the example, how is it defined? Column caption is the label that explains the data found in columns. Let us take a look back at the example. What does the column caption of the table contain? That's right. The column caption of the table contains the year, total production, percentage production of coal, petroleum, natural gas, and others. The third element of a table is called row caption. Based on the example, what is a row caption? Excellent! A row caption is the label that explains the data found in rows. Let us take a look back at the example. What does the row caption of the table contain? That's amazing! The row caption of the table contains the years, such as 1960, 1970, and 1980. Down to the last element of a table, known as the table body. Based on the example, what is a table body? A table body is the main part of the table, which contains the numerical information classified with respect to row and column captions. Based on the given example, this is what we call the table body. Let us know how visual and verbal elements are used in graphs. So, what is a graph? A graph is a diagram representing a system of connections or interrelations among two or more things by a number of distinctive dots, lines, bars, etc. An example of a graph is shown in this figure. It is also important for us to understand the visual-verbal relationships illustrated on graphs. Let us then know its basic elements. Like table, a graph has its title. What is a title then? Again, the title of a graph offers a short explanation of what is in your graph. This helps the reader identify what they are to look at. So this is an example of a title of a graph. Number of cars sold in a week. The second element of a graph is what we call x-axis. What is x-axis? Exactly. X-axis has numbers representing different time periods or names of things being compared. Again, x-axis has numbers representing different time periods or names of things being compared. Using the example, what does the x-axis contain? The x-axis contains the colors of the cars. The third element of the graph is the y-axis. What is y-axis? Y-axis has numbers for the amount of stuff being measured. The y-axis usually starts counting at 0 and can be divided into as many equal parts as you want. Based on the given example, what does the y-axis contain? The y-axis contains the number of cars sold. Element of a graph is what we call legend. What is a legend? That's great. A legend or the legend tells us what each data represents. Just like on a map, the legend helps the reader understand what they are looking at. So this is an example of a legend. Now that we have learned the visual and verbal elements and their relationship illustrated in tables and graphs, it is important to know where they are usually found. We should always remember that the relationship between visual and verbal elements, also known as the visual-verbal relationship, illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps are usually found in expository text. But what is an expository text? Right. Expository text is a mode of writing that provides facts in a way in which the purpose is to inform, explain, and illustrate. This clearly means that expository texts are information-based texts. This time, let us try to explain the visual-verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in an expository text. Please take a look at the sample expository text, which is entitled, How Effective Vaccines Are. I'll give you 2 minutes to pause this video presentation for your reading. Now that we are done reading the expository text, let us now look at the illustration beside it. What type of illustration is found in the expository text? Brilliant! A graph is found in the expository text. What elements are illustrated in the graph? That's right. There are visual and verbal elements illustrated in the graph. Is there a visual-verbal relationship illustrated in the graph found in the expository text? Why or why not? That's right. There is a visual-verbal relationship illustrated in the graph. This is so because the visual elements complement or support the verbal elements and vice versa. Moreover, the visual and verbal elements are appropriately used and illustrated in the graph. My dear grade 8 learners, is everything clear now? The visual-verbal relationships found in tables and graphs. This time, let's have information maps. So, what are information maps? Information maps are visual representations of information. They typically represent information as boxes or circles to show connection in each information. Kindly look at the example of an information map. How is the information presented? Outstanding! The information map is presented in circles. Based on the information presented, what do you think the information map is all about? Brilliant! The information map is all about the benefits of trees. What is the main topic found in the information map? Excellent! The main topic is the trees. What are the subtopics found in the information map? That's correct. The subtopics are the oxygen and wood together with their supporting details. So these are the supporting details. time, let us try to explain the visual-verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in an expository text. I'll give you 2 minutes to pause the video presentation for you to be able to read the given text. Please take a look at the second example that is entitled, Your Digestive System, How It Works. Now that we are done reading the expository text, let us now look at the illustration on top of it. What type of illustration is found in the expository text? Brilliant! An information map is found in the expository text. What elements are illustrated in the information map? That's right! There are visual and verbal elements illustrated in the information map. Is there a visual-verbal relationship illustrated in the information map found in the expository text? Why or why not? Excellent! There is a visual-verbal relationship illustrated in the information map found in the expository text. This is so because the visual elements complement or support the verbal elements and vice versa. Moreover, the visual and verbal elements are appropriately used and illustrated in the information map. So, my dear grade 8 learners, is everything clear now? That's wonderful! Always remember that a visual-verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in expository text is a relationship between visual and verbal elements which are mutually supportive to one another. Most importantly, it will help us understand information in a clear and effective way. So this time, I would like you to work in your activity sheet that I will be posting in our Google Classroom. That's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Good day, everyone. Goodbye.